Y'all, we are Atlanta-based podcast. If you don't see the hat, you don't see the Falcon behind me, you don't see the Deion Sanders in the corner over there. You see Hank Aaron right there. We are an Atlanta-based podcast, so you know we're gonna talk about the Atlanta Falcons first.
It's crazy. I'm cool and leave it like that. It's vibes. Vibes immaculate.
The letter of today is S.
S.
While Norwood unfreezes, we were talking about the Falcons for our Falcons Focus. The Falcons had an introductory press conference today for their new coach, Kevin Stefanski. And Stefanski said a lot of interesting things at this press conference, along with Matt Ryan, who is the president of football operations. So the thing that I got from this press conference was everything is going to be extremely structured. There's a rumor that Terry and Rich McKay picked Raheem over McDonald and Mike Vrabel. McDonald being the Seahawks head coach. And of course, we don't know if all of that is true or not, but allegedly they wanted Raheem and passed on those two coaches, and that, along with the consulting firm, was the nail in the coffin for them. How do I want to do this? They talked about a lot of things. You want to keep going, or you want to?
Yeah. The show must go on.
So with the press conference, they said everything has to be extremely structured, is what I got. This is kind of an intentional move. This is kind of an intentional move. We might have to take a break, ladies and gentlemen, as we get Norwood straight. Matter of fact, we will be right back. Give us about 2 seconds. Norwood's whole camera broke, I guess. Never mind. We back? Are we back? Maybe we back. Maybe we not. We can't hear you if you are back. Well, this is the beauties of live stream. If you're listening to the playback, you're not hearing any of this. He's out again. And he's back again. And he's out again. And he's back again. Well, y'all. Now he's unmuted and he's muted. While he's going, we'll talk about it. What I got from this is the team is looking to be extremely structured. Apparently, Arthur Blank and the consulting firm felt that the Atlanta Falcons were not organized and didn't really have any clarity on what they were doing. At first, to me, that seemed like an excuse that they used as a reason to get rid of Raheem, because Raheem just wasn't a good coach and they needed to get rid of Terry. But that was the main thing. Red flag number one, when Stefanski was talking, they asked him what he envisions the football to be and look and sound like. He said he wanted player-driven accountability. He does not want to be, he wants to be more like a guide versus be he says I'm here. He wants to be a guide versus be a holding players accountable. That's kind of different from what we've heard in the past of how he calls out quarterbacks in meetings and calls out defensive players and calls out players in meetings, and then they have to go talk behind closed doors, and then he'll maybe backtrack. So for him, he definitely wants player-driven accountability. He was very clear on, Matt Ryan was very clear on why they hired Stefanski, and I think that's very important. Matt said he fit all the evaluations. He said he's very, very structured. He's very, very planned, and he offers a lot of organization. Sorry, I'm reading notes. So when I said it offered a lot of organization, they referenced Kevin Stefanski when it came to Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel, that he had 2 development plans for one per quarterback, and that he had them ready to develop based on what they needed to work on, and that's how he was going to do it. Why is that important? Well, we have a young quarterback in Michael Penix where there he is. We have a young quarterback in Michael Penix where Arthur Blank and Matt Ryan, whether you believe him or not, have given him the vote of confidence. So the one thing that Kevin Stefanski is very organized when it comes to the development of quarterbacks and of players.
So I do like that there seems to be some structure here. I think that I'm uncertain exactly how I feel with Tommy Rees calling the plays since Stefanski is supposed to be an offensive guru. From what I've heard, I think they believe that he's going to do a lot of the first 20 kind of scripted plays to start the game, and then from there, let Tommy Rees kind of do his thing. I don't know exactly how I feel about that, and if I don't know how I feel, then I'm probably uncomfortable. At this moment, that's all we can really do.
Yeah. So, the player-driven accountability to me was red flag. Red flag number 2 was Rees being the play caller. What everybody tries to get in modern day NFL is the young hot shot coordinator. Most of the time it's offense until you get Mike McDonald, and we'll talk about him when we get to the NFC Championship game. He's the hot shot defensive coordinator that turned into the head coach. Tommy Rees is supposed to be that. He's supposed to be the young hot shot coordinator. He got a vote of confidence from Nick Saban, out of all people. He has, if you think of it prospect wise, he has high upside as an offensive coordinator, but he's still getting adjusted to calling plays and the speed of the game and making adjustments. I don't like that they're gonna have 2 people calling plays, and they're gonna split it. So the first 20, as you said, they said that, and then either Rees will take over or they'll kind of collaborate together. I'm not really cool with that, because I think just like if you look at Kubiak for the Seattle Seahawks, you look at McVay, you look at Shanahan, all the guys that you really want or you're looking for, even Andy Reid, they kind of get in a rhythm calling plays. And you can go to college, you can look at Lane Kiffin. Once Lane Kiffin get rolling, it's hard to stop him, right? So if you get to those offensive coordinators, those offensive teams, I think after the script, you got to make adjustments and get on and get in a rhythm, play calling wise. So for me, that's going to be difficult. That's difficult for me to see.
I think that from what I understand, Rees is pretty young. So this is his opportunity to get the tutelage from Stefanski. So I think he's going to coach him up through this. I guess that's the plan, it seems like. I mean, we won't know until then, but I think that the thing in this case is clear is you have to win. There is no us not getting it done. We got to figure out a way to get it done. And if the results don't match, then y'all going home. And yeah. I think that at this point, everybody needs to understand that. I think that keeping Ulbrich as the defensive coordinator was the right decision to make. And I think that he's good. I think the defense is going to be very solid. It's really quarterback play, offense, and offensive line. But they got Callahan. You can't get no offensive line with Callahan. You ain't going to get no offensive line.
So Stefanski was very clear on a few things, and Matt Ryan, because they were sitting up there together. When it came to the structure of how personnel decisions were made, Stefanski will give you the X's and O's. He's kind of like the engineer of it. He's going to give you the X's and O's. He's going to tell you who we need. He's going to tell you who he likes. He's going to give you fit evaluations. Then the partnership will come between him and the GM, who will make the final personnel calls. And then for any guidance, there'll be Matt Ryan and Bob Quinn, who they hired as his senior advisor. I'm not really high on Bob Quinn. He was the general manager from the Lions from 2016 to 2020. And I went back and looked at their draft picks, and none of them were good. And then the Lions fired him, got a new GM, and all of a sudden the Lions are who they are. And then he follows he went with Stefanski to Cleveland. So, but Stefanski asked for him as his senior advisor. So it's going to be a collaborative effort. That's another word that they kept saying, or a phrase that they kept saying, was collaborative effort between the GM, Stefanski, and Bob Quinn.
I don't like that collaborative effort shit, because then it's like, oh, I don't know who to blame. Y'all know me. I like, nope. Whose fault is it? It's his fault. Send him home.
And he said, I stand up and I take blame for something that's my fault. And I was like, well, yeah, it's easy to do that, but the way you get around that is you pass the fault on and the blame to 3 or 4 people versus one person.
You insulate yourself with people who can be the fall guy between you and the real responsibility.
So it sounds like
we don't love you. Your ass can go home.
And it sounds like they're treating him like R&D almost, like research and development. And then the business guys gonna make it work, which is, it is what it is. One thing that I did like that he said was, they were like, well, you've never really talked to Ulbrich for real. What made you keep him? And he was like, man, I didn't hire these people or we didn't decide to bring these people in or keep these people because of friendship. You look at that defense, Ulbrich is really good. They have everybody coming back on defense just about where it matters. And they got to keep Nate Ali. So he said it was a no-brainer, and we can be friends afterwards, or we can be friends after we get you in the building, but we got to make sure you stay in the building. So
or you don't got to be friends at all. If you win, then we good. That's the only. Y'all can hate each other, to be completely honest. As long as we're winning, then I'm grinning, baby.
And they keep putting an emphasis on teaching, development, and standards. And the thing that Ulbrich and Nate Ali are really good at is teaching, developing their players. And that's what they want Stefanski to do on offense with Penix. If they bring Kyle Pitts, whatever, but Drake London and Bijan, is they want to develop those young guys. And then finally, because I said he was committed to Penix, the philosophy: run first. Said it early, said it often. Run first identity, keeping the wide zone, run scheme. Stefanski believes in the wide zone, not exclusively. That's my bad. If I press something, I apologize. Stefanski believes in the wide zone almost exclusively, but he wants to be multiple. But he also said that he, again, with zone blocking and those type of schemes, he wants to be able to have a base offense to where you don't know what he's going to do.
Hey, you better get that quarterback under center. I tell you that much.
Quarterback under center, and he emphasized play action pass, because he said the run game and play action pass. Matt Ryan stepped in and said that helps with the development of Penix and also keeps the pass rush from just having a free run at him. What does that sound like to me? That damn pistol is out of here.
Pew, 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 pew. That's dead. DEAD dead. They heard us. I appreciate the Hawks listening to the fans and say, don't trade for AD. I appreciate the Falcons saying, hey, they ain't like that pistol. We're going to do something different this time.
Yeah, so the heavy play action pass. And then this is a strong hint. You said it earlier. They're definitely going to look at the offensive line. I think the Falcons are going to go. I've been running mock drafts recently, and of course they have us taking a wide receiver and a cornerback. But the third,
need a D tackle.
No, offensive tackle, because Jake Matthews is in his 16th year, and then old boy Caleb McGarry is wishy-washy. He be hurt, he be good, he be bad, and then you got Elijah Wilkinson and Storm Norton, who everybody be hurt. So, they're talking about getting younger at the offensive tackle. This is a very
Bergeron solid though. He was a heck of a pickup, man. Terry Fondo ain't never did nothing wrong with me.
But when it comes, draft is deep with the offensive tackle position, especially in the first 2 rounds. So I could see us really going offensive tackle first. And then of course there's a lot of wide receivers, Keon Coleman, us
and everybody else gonna try to steal him
in free agency that's available. Well, they already said we look like it. So yeah, we're gonna get a backup running back. But they also talked about bringing in Kyle Pitts, which is interesting. I think they might end up paying Kyle Pitts probably about
Isaiah Likely, Kate Otten. It's other people I'd rather pay who like playing football. And that I'm telling you this as a Gator fan and a Falcons fan, he can go.
Yeah. So that was pretty much it when it came to philosophy. When it came to staff choices, he told you about bringing in Callahan because he wants to run the ball. I'm interested to see what they do with Tommy Rees. If I were the Falcons, I'm interested to see how their philosophy and how it changes for preseason. If you remember, Raheem didn't play any starters preseason for real.
And whatever Raheem did, don't do it.
And I don't think that that's going to happen anymore. I think that they're going to end up playing players in preseason. And I think they're going to let Tommy Rees call a lot of plays in preseason to get that under his belt. And then finally, Matt Ryan talked about the GM search. So they brought in Ian Cunningham from the Chicago Bears for a second in-person interview. Normally, when they bring you in for the second in-person interview, most of my friends are in entrepreneurship. Even if they are in entrepreneurship, have worked in corporate America at some point. When you go for a job interview, when they bring you back, that means they've cut the field down. And normally, if there's 3 rounds, then this is the round to see how much they're going to pay you and what's your thought process on the structure that they have in place. And then they'll probably make him an offer. So right now, I think Ian Cunningham from the Bears is going to be our new general manager. Which I said was going to happen if they hired Stefanski. It was going to be Ian Cunningham. If they brought in this 49ers GM, they're probably going to go try to get like Salah or something like that. So
it's 2 guys. I just had it here. Ian Cunningham and no. And James Lillipufert, the Houston Texans assistant GM, also granted a second interview, bringing experience to player personnel. Those are the finalists for the GM.
I think personally, it's Ian Cunningham's job to lose. I think the other guy can back up.
But if you look at what the Bears have done and what the Texans have done, I think the Texans have done a better job of assembling the roster.
I think that remains to be seen. I think the Texans have a few years head start.
2? Well, hold on. When did Caleb get to Chicago? 2 years ago?
This is 2nd year.
Yes, and this is CJ's 3rd year? Yes, 3rd year.
And what's his name's 4th as coach?
D'Amico?
So, yeah, it's 2 years. Yeah, so it's 2 years ahead.
What quarterback did D'Amico have before CJ? No, they got there at the same time. D'Amico, CJ, Will Anderson, all at the same time. 3 years. 3 years versus 2 years.
Well, yeah. I mean, then they both kind of made it around. The offense is better for Chicago. The defense is better for, and that's offense and defensive coach. So I would probably I don't know.
But I think the Texans issue. I think the Texans would have a better offense than, and now once again we split hairs here, but I think the Texans would have a better offense if all of their guys weren't hurt at the same time. That's their biggest issue. And CJ doing what CJ did for the last 2 games, that was wild. I don't know what that is. I don't think that's what CJ is, though. But overall, I think that the Texans' player personnel has been better. But, I mean, at the end of the day, they pay y'all guys to figure it out. Figure it out. These are the last 2. And I feel confident in whatever 2 you get. Just make sure you make the right decision because you can be clowned. Because if you look at the guys who are playing in the Super Bowl, we will hear very soon, there were people who you interviewed for the head coach position and did not get as head coaches, and you took Raheem. So if you don't want to look stupid, then don't do stupid things.
what I'd be looking forward for now, either one of these GMs, you're going to be in place probably by the Super Bowl, if not right afterwards, because you got to get your draft evaluations. The draft, both of these GMs are good at drafting. Bob Quinn, who is the senior advisor, is terrible at free agency. I don't think he had a good free agent signing while he was GM of the Lions, and his best draft pick was a center in Frank Ragnow.
And you said, what was his name again? Bob Quinn? Oh, let me start researching. Barbecue.
So I'm very skeptical of that hire. I'm very, very skeptical of the Bob Quinn hire. Those were the red flags for me, but I do like, from somebody that's a process-oriented engineer who likes structure and checklists and plans, him having a plan for Penix and saying he's going to do all of that, and that's how he works.
He's from Norwood, Massachusetts. Graduated from Norwood High School. Flew in my name and my legacy.
Well, history will tell you that was probably his name first.
That's not his name. That's just the name of the city and the school where he went. Bob Quinn just been slew.
Well, whoever that name is after, whatever. We'll leave it there. But yeah, he slew. Look at the draft picks. His draft pick is like Jeff Okuda.
I need to go look at the 16 to 20 Detroit Lions roster right now.
Already did. I'm telling you, it's bad. Matt Stafford left. He said, "Man, I gotta go to LA. I gotta do something." So, but with that being said, hey man, successful introductory press conference for Matt Ryan for sure. I'm interested to see what they do with Tommy Rees, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not excited. Again, I'm very even.
Not be Zach Robinson, boy. Let me tell you that much.
He gonna be with Baker. So he may be pretty good.